Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the biggest, most critical challenges in business right now. How do you build an AI that can basically run your company without it, running away with the company? We're going to do this by following the story of a fictional company we'll call Automate Corp, as they build their security fortress from the ground up. Let's get into it.
And really, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? To get all that amazing efficiency and power, we have to give our AI systems access to our most valuable stuff. Our data, our processes, our customer conversations. But of course, that access comes with enormous risk. So how do you hand over the keys while making absolutely 100% sure you're still the one driving?
All right, so here's our scenario. We've got this company, Automate Corp, and they're building an AI that's meant to be the central nervous system for the whole operation. I mean, this thing is designed to read internal emails, analyze financial transactions, and even handle customer service chats. It's a total game changer, potentially, but it's also a massive security headache.
To build that secure foundation, Automate Corp is thinking in layers. 4 distinct layers of defense, actually. We're going to start with the first and, honestly, the most fundamental one, securing the AI's brain. This is all about protecting the model itself.
So, first up is something called Model Access Control. You can think of this as the set of rules for who gets to touch the AI's core intelligence. We're talking about the model's weights, those millions of little parameters that represent everything it's learned. Who can tweak those? Who has the authority to push a new version live? Who can even look at the logs of what it's doing? This is your absolute first line of defense.
Now, what's absolutely crucial here, and you can see it in the table, is this principle of separation of duties. Check out that first rule. The AI and machine learning engineers, they build the models, but look at that key rule. They cannot access live production data. That's a critical firewall. Then you have the MLOps team, the specialists who manage the deployment. They are the only ones who can push to production. Meanwhile, InfoSec is the watchdog, always reviewing logs, and the governance team is the final checkpoint. The bottom line? No single team holds all the keys.
This whole process ensures a model doesn't just jump from a developer's laptop straight into production. No way. It starts in a secure, sandbox development environment. From there, it moves to a completely separate testing area for integrity and quality checks. And finally, it gets cryptographically signed. You can think of that like a tamper-proof digital seal. And only after the governance team approves that seal can MLOps deploy it. It's a secure, verifiable pipeline from start to finish.
Okay, so the brain is secured. Now we move to the second layer of defense, which is all about what we're feeding it. This brings us to creating a safe diet for the AI. Because, let's be real, an AI is only as good, or as safe, as the data it learns from.
This slide just illustrates the cardinal rule perfectly. Over on the left, you've got your raw production data, real customer info, financial records, the secret sauce. That stuff is basically radioactive, and it is strictly forbidden for training. What developers actually use is on the right, safe, synthetic, or anonymized data that acts just like the real thing without exposing a single piece of sensitive information. And how do you enforce this? With clear, machine-readable labels. At Automate Corp, every single dataset gets a tag. Restricted for things like personally identifiable information, internal for things like company memos, and public for open source stuff. These aren't just friendly suggestions. They are hard rules the system uses to automatically grant or deny access.
I love this metaphor. It's perfect. The Data Governance Office is basically the company's master librarian. They manage the entire data catalog, and no dataset gets checked out to the AI unless they approve it and it passes through a secure data gateway. This whole setup prevents toxic or dangerous data from ever poisoning the well. Okay, so we've secured the brain and we're feeding it a safe diet. That brings us to our third layer of defense, controlling the AI's actions. Now that it's smart and well-informed, what is it actually allowed to do in the real world?
Exactly. It's one thing for an AI to have knowledge, but it's another thing entirely for it to take action. This is where AI agents, the parts of the system that actually go and do things, come into play, and they require some extremely tight controls. This table shows exactly how Automate Corp thinks about risk for every single action. Drafting a customer support email? Low risk. The AI can handle that on its own. But look further down. Processing a customer refund. That's high risk. The AI can get everything ready, but a human must give the final okay. And changing a user's account settings? That's critical. The AI can only propose the action. A person has to give the final yes.
This whole concept is known as human in the loop, or HIT. It's basically the essential two-key system for AI.
For anything high stakes like moving money or changing account details, the AI acts as a brilliant co-pilot. It does all the hard analysis, suggests a course of action, but a human pilot must always have their hands on the controls for the final decision. This is what prevents those catastrophic automated mistakes.
So we've secured the brain, the data, and the actions inside the company. Now it's time for the fourth and final layer, securing the front door. How does this incredibly powerful system interact safely with the outside world, with both our employees and our customers?
The answer is you hire a very good bodyguard. And in the tech world, that bodyguard is the API gateway. It stands right at the front door, and it does everything. It checks IDs through authentication, it manages the crowd with rate limiting so things don't get overwhelmed, it inspects every incoming package for threats, and it enforces a strict guest list. If your name's not on the list, you are not getting in.
Now, this bodyguard operates on a philosophy called zero trust, and the principle is simple: trust no one, verify everything. Every single request, even if it's coming from inside the company, is treated as potentially hostile until it's proven safe. This means the external API is completely walled off from the internal services, so even if an attacker somehow gets past the front door, they're trapped in the lobby. They can't move sideways to get to the crown jewels. So as we bring these 4 layers together, the biggest lesson from our Automate Corp story is pretty clear. AI security isn't just one team's job. It's a team sport. It requires defense in depth across the entire organization. And this table just puts it all together beautifully. You can see the 4 layers of defense we've been talking about. And for each control, like model access, you've got the teams that actually build it and implement it, like the AI engineers and MLOps, and then you have separate teams that oversee it, like security and governance. It's a whole system of checks and balances, for every single layer, all working together.
And the ultimate goal of this entire multi-layered strategy is to create a true fortress. The design makes sure that no single person, whether they're an insider or an outsider, can compromise the system. Every possible angle of attack is protected by overlapping controls.
And that leaves us with one final and pretty critical question for all of us. The AI systems being built right now are going to make autonomous decisions that affect our businesses and our lives in huge ways. The real question is, are we all taking the necessary steps, like Automate Corp did, to build a foundation that is truly worthy of that trust? Thanks for tuning in.